Hello, I'm Dr. Andrew Missick. I'm running for Texas State Legislature HD 18 against the incumbent Ernest Bales. And I've made a lot of push cards, some about me, and I'm designing and creating these push cards for the most part. So I'm looking at my push cards, and I think these look pretty good. And I have this friend that's a graphic designer, and it's like, well, what do you think? What do you think about my handiwork? And he goes, I think he has a friend who's a close friend and supporter of Ernest Bales. And he goes, well, I think that what you're saying is borderline libel. You're slandering poor, innocent, good old boy Ernest Bales. And he knows very well, this particular person knows that. Yeah, I was trying to put that behind me, and I was attacked, just minding my own business, by the Ernest Bales, people associated with the Ernest Bales campaign. It's unbelievable. I think Ernest Bales, he's bad for our community. He's not a Republican. I mean, I talked to people in the community down there, and he's a notorious Democrat until he decided to run for office, and he realized he can't win running as a Democrat, so he decided to run as a Democrat, but on the Republican ticket. So, actually put conservative Republican on his side. If you look at his first press release, he's trying to say he's a fiscal conservative, but he's not even a fiscal conservative, he's a fiscal liberal. So I want to look at some of these things where I'm supposedly libeling Bales, and we're just looking at the facts. And this is a card, actually, this card was not created by me. Most of these here weren't. That I'm going to give you as examples. I have created many push cards, but these we're going to look at were not created by me. This is by Defend Texas Liberty PAC, and it says Ernest Bales betrayed Republicans and voted to give Democrats powerful chairmanships in direct opposition to the Republican agenda. This was put out when I was running against him. This was a mail out that was mailed out to all registered Republicans, and probably in HD 18. So let's just read what he did. Why is Ernest Bales voting to give Democrats power? In fact, on the third day of the legislative session, conservatives forced a vote to strip Democrats of all their powerful chairmanships. In fact, Ernest Bales voted to give liberal Democrats powerful chairmanships, which they used to kill conservative legislation. In fact, the Texas GOP asked the Texas legislature to stop giving Democrats chairmanships and even put the issue on the primary ballot. So I didn't even know this until recently. It all came out with Bales and his impeachment of Attorney General Ken Paxton. And what happens is the Democrats control the Texas state legislature, even though they're in a minority, because they vote in a block. They determine who the Speaker of the House is. That's why we have a left-wing radical like Dave Phelan as the Speaker of the House. What happens is the liberals in the Texas House know this. So a liberal, RINO, Republican name only, wants to be the Speaker. He approaches the Democrats, says, you'll run the show. I'll peel away 10 to 12 other RINOs like myself, and you control me. I'm your man. And that means you, even though you're a minority, I just need to strip away a few people, and I will answer the Democrat Party. So much so that Joe Biden's administration contacts the Democrats in the Texas State House, and they order Dave Phelan to impeach Ken Paxton, because Ken Paxton was effectively countering the Biden administration by filing lawsuits and winning. They wanted to take Ken Paxton out of the fight. Ernest Bales was happy to oblige. So you have another push card. This is actually a text message, and it stated, State Representative Ernest Bales joined 61 Democrats to impeach Ken Paxton. So that's what he did. And Ken Paxton has not done anything wrong. This is all political. I know, there's accusations. I think he's admitted to it. He had an affair. But that's not the reason why they're impeaching him. They're impeaching him is because he's an effective conservative champion. He's winning for Texas. He's also exposing voter fraud. So this Ernest Bales joined 61 Democrats to impeach Kim Paxton. This is also not from me. This is not me. These ads I'm showing you now aren't from me. They're from Defend Texas Liberty PAC. Now we're going to go on to Fox News. What's school choice? School choice means that each parent can take their school funds for their students, they're allocated to their students, and send them to whatever school they want, including a private school, Christian school, homeschooling. The parent gives the parents the alternatives and the options to do what they think is best for their child, to educate them. This creates wonderful new opportunities for children to excel and succeed. And I've seen bad schools where I felt, I saw this young African-American girl, and I realized, like, this girl is exceptionally intelligent, but she's doomed to go to this certain school, which I won't name. And it's like, that's sad, They say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. This little girl has a lot of potential, and if she's doomed to go to this school, she might not be able to realize her potential. So something like school choice would really, because most parents are just going to let their kids go to the public school. But this really creates a lot of opportunity. It also breaks the power of the CRTS, critical race theory, radical left-wing teachers unions, which are the biggest supporters of the Democrat Party, which means they're the gravest threat that we've faced from our constitutional system is from these radical left-wing teachers unions. And now parents' eyes have been opened up to what these teachers unions and teachers associations are all about, and the threat that they pose to the future, and indoctrinating our children into just this whole transgender thing. Where did it come from? A lot of it comes from the educational establishment. It came out of the school system, the higher education, and the public school system, and that's why it's like a new movement, and they're imposing this on our children. I mean, this is not a natural phenomenon. This is something that's contrived to destroy, to collapse civilization so they can create a new Marxist civilization. So school choice actually works. They tried it in Arizona. And this is Fox News. This is Fox News going against Ernest Bales. According to Steve Moore of Fox News, Republican lawmaker, state representative Ernest Bales from a small southeast Texas city of Shepherd is voting against school choice, even though 27% of his students are performing at or above grade level in math in his district. Is Bales really arguing this miserable performance is the best Texas can do for its children? He fails to acknowledge the bill that he opposes actually directs more money per student for rural district schools and higher pay for teachers. So he'd rather have less money for our schools and less pay for our teachers than to have parents to have power and options and opportunities for their children to succeed. Because he's as we'll see later, I mean, this guy, there's no way that Ernest Bales can be a conservative anything, because he's deeply, deeply with the radical left-wing CRT teachers unions. So let's continue. We have, well, it doesn't matter, just go through it. So, State Rep Bales, attacks and spin liberal. And this is from Texas Scorecard. There's a lot of information about Ernest Bales on Texas Scorecard. I like Texas Scorecard. If you want to know where I am politically, Texas Scorecard. I'm with them. I like Tucker Carlson and Dinesh D'Souza and Victor Davis Hanson, so that's where I'm coming from, I guess, intellectually. And as far as policy and politics, I'm right on board with Texas Scorecard. So let's look at this. This, like I said, this is from Texas Scorecard. Since entering, this is what they're saying. It's not what I'm saying. This is not libel or slander from Dr. Missick. This is what they're saying about Ernest Bales from Texas Scorecard. I got the date on here and everything. Since entering the Texas House in 2017, State Rep Ernest Bales of Shepherd has amassed a voting record as one of the most liberal Republicans in the House. State Rep Bales, tax and spend liberal. So the reason why I put this in here is because Bales, when he began campaigning, he says, well, he's not a social conservative. He's not conservative at all. But he says he's a fiscal conservative. He's not even that. So let's continue to read what he does here. During the most recent session, Bales earned a 38 on the Fiscal Responsibility Index, one of the lowest scores of any Republican. On the ratings published by the Young Conservatives of Texas, Bales scored a 60. He also earned a failing grade from Texas Right to Life, which we'll look at in a minute. So, according to Texas Scorecard, but also the Fiscal Responsibility Index, Young Conservatives of Texas and Texas Right to Life, this man has a failing grade on conservative issues, on fiscal issues. So, Liberal State Rep Bales voted to allow Democrats to chair key committees, letting Liberal Democrats be in charge of legislation regarding education, business, industry, and transportation. He also fought against a rule proposal that required records to record votes for legislation in committees. His vote kept the legislative process shrouded in secretly, denying citizens a chance to hold lawmakers accountable. So we're trying to pass a law to make it what's going on back there. Let's keep it all transparent. He doesn't want you to know what he's up to because it's not in our country's best interest. All right, I mentioned this already. Once again, this isn't me. This is not me slandering Ernest Bales. This is Texas Right to Life. And I was talking to Emily Kibadoo Cook. She ran unsuccessfully. Unfortunately, I wish she won. She would have been a lot better representative. She ran against Bales on the abortion issue. Ernest Bales tries to erase his anti-life record from the Texas House Journal. So what happens? You have this is true in Congress, United States Congress. Each congressman, you have the congressional record, and as a duly elected congressman, you can edit the congressional record, right? Your speeches, you can expand your speeches, you can correct your speeches. You have a say in what's in as a congressman, what's in the congressional records. The same thing is true the legislative record here in Texas. It's all a matter of public record, but the legislators can go in and edit things, omit things, change things within a certain degree. So Ernest Bales had to go. He ran as a fiscal conservative, which he isn't. He also ran as pro-life. He's not even pro-life. He's pro-abortion. So let's look at what he did. During his first term as a member of the Texas House of Representatives, Ernest Bales, Republican of Shepherd, earned an abysmal 42% of the Texas pro-life scorecard, receiving the distinction of being the only freshman legislature on the 2017 disappointments list. What exasperates his dismal pro-life record in the House is that he campaigned as a pro-life candidate and has hit a new low in attempting to manipulate his constituents again during his re-election bid. So what happened is he becomes state legislature 2017. So then he goes and he supports abortion legislation. And then he's exposed, so he went to erase the record of his pro-abortion activities from the Texas State House legislative record. I mean, he has the right to do it. It just shows he's deceptive. So that's very important. And like once again, I didn't make this stuff up. This is from Texas Right to Life. Now we got the Houston issue, and there's a lot of sources about this. This has been going on for some time, since 2007. Actually, I think it goes back. The seeds of the disaster of Colony Ridge, Houston were first planted, I think, around 2013, but it didn't really become a bigger issue until like 2017. And I was attending a pastor's meeting, and Bales came and said, I know that you guys have heard what's going on in Colony Ridge, Houston. I want you to know that I'm supporting it. I'm working in the interest of Trey Harris, Colony Ridge, and Austin. And I'm going to use my legislative powers as Texas State Representative, that's what Bales said, to let Colony Ridge, Houston thrive and grow. He said it. And also, when I debated him, and he's boasting about how he helped create the largest growing school district in the nation, which is through his support of Trey Harris and Colony Ridge. So Wayne Dolcefino did some investigation into Colony Ridge. He did 2 programs. You can look at it yourself. This isn't me. This is when I was a young, I was in school actually. Wayne Dolcefino was on the news every night as as ABC News Action 13 investigative reporter. Wayne Dolcefino, and very man of action, working to take a stand against evildoers on behalf of the community. So Wayne Dolcefino tackled Colony Ridge, and he has 2 programs you can watch on it. One is called Sound of Silence, because what would happen is we would try to cry out, look what they're doing here. We got the cartel, we got human trafficking, we got illegal aliens and migrants being exploited, we got environmental damage, pollution, And nobody cares. Nobody cares. So we try to speak out against what's going on in Colony Ridge, Ernest, Houston, and fallen deaf ears, the sound of silence. Then you have stabbed in the back. These are probably people that are they're supporting Ernest Bales, probably because they're getting bought off, including pastors apparently. So anybody that does any investigation into Colony Ridge finds Ernest Bales involved in it. And so what happened is, like I said, all these issues about Colony Ridge, Ernest, Houston, and falling on deaf ears until September 15th. The Daily Wire, Spencer Lindquist has been investigating what's going on in Colony Ridge, and lo and behold, Ernest Bales getting donations from Trey Harris. Ernest Bales getting donations from the earthwork and clearing company employed by Colony Ridge, because apparently Ernest Bales is telling us the truth, right? And there needs to be a criminal investigation. They're trying to cover it up or lie to people and being disingenuous and about what's going on in there. And we need to relentlessly pursue the truth and hold these people accountable, including Jay Knight, Ernest Bales, and of course Trey Harris. So meet the man behind Ernest, Houston, Colony Ridge, State Rep Bales. State Rep Representative Ernest Bales worked with Trey Harris at Colony Ridge, Ernest, Houston, to transform Liberty and San Jacinto counties, HD18, into a sanctuary district, and the largest and fastest growing hub of human, drug, sex, and child trafficking in the USA. Stop Bales, vote Missick. The cartels, either the cartels in Colony Ridge or they're not. The reports are this is becoming the largest. It's 75,000 now. It's going to grow up to 250,000 people. That's their goal. I was at another one of these meetings, and the school board superintendent of Cleveland ISD says, yes, they want to see it grow up to 250,000, and we're going to have to pay for it. These illegal aliens do the crime, we foot the bill. I mean, this is unsustainable. This level of massive illegal immigration represents societal collapse. But Ernest Bales doesn't care, and it's going to crush us, but they don't care. They don't care because, why does he not care? The next card, and once again, this isn't me. This is also reported. Once again, the Texas scorecard. This is from May 21st, 2018, and there are photographs. There are photographs of, they had a rally to say let's flip. In May 2018, they had the Democrats and the teachers union. They had a rally in Houston, a Flip Texas Blue rally, and the idea is that we're going to make Texas purple now. The teachers unions work the educational system. We're going to flip Texas blue. That's why Ernest Bales, he's a Democrat, and that's why he's behind Ernest Houston. One of his objectives is to flip Texas blue. So that's the Democrat strategy. They call it the Great Replacement theory, but they espouse it. Chuck Schumer, Mayorkas, Biden himself. They say, oh, it's a Great Replacement theory, but they espouse it. Tucker Carlson had all these videos of, yes, we're going to use legal and illegal immigration to change the demographics of this country to have a permanent one-party state and a Democrat supermajority. Is that going to be what's going to happen? Maybe, maybe not. But that's why they're doing it. I mean, if they thought that there's no political benefit in an open border, or if they thought potentially the open border could hurt their interests, then they would seal it. Because all the Democrat Party is really about is about power, state control and power. So Ernest Bales, they had this Flip Texas Blue rally, and to show solidarity, they wore purple shirts, right? To show that we're going to transition to something else. We're going to see that Bales supports sexual transitioning of children. We are going to transition Texas from red to blue. And first, before you get there, you got to make Texas a purple state. So that's what this is all about, to show that they're going to make Texas purple and then blue. As soon as possible, they all wear their purple shirts. And Ernest Bales went to a Flip Texas Blue rally wearing a purple shirt to show his solidarity and support for this agenda. So state represents in the card. And once again, this is there's photographs of him wearing his purple shirt. It's a light. It's a purple shirt nonetheless. He shouldn't even have gone to this. He's campaigning. This is an event campaigning against Dan Patrick to get a Democrat lieutenant governor in. And there's other Democrat candidates who are campaigning at this event. So Ernest Bales went to this event to campaign for Democrats and against Republican candidates. And the whole event is about flipping Texas blue. So Ernest Bales wore a purple shirt to the event to show solidarity with the Democrats in their efforts to flip Texas blue. He also campaigned for Democrat candidates and against Republican candidates. And this isn't something I'm making up. These are real photographs. This is a news story. You can read it yourself. This isn't libeling or slandering Ernest Bales. So, State Representative Ernest Bales, he's transgendering Texas, or he's transitioning Texas, and now he's also trying to change transgender children. State Rep Bales supports sex change for children. This is C. Ernest Bales joins 10 other Texas lawmakers, Republican lawmakers, who voted to fund transgender social transitioning. This is by Luke Macias, Texas Scorecard. This is just the month before last, and I just cut and paste the news story on here. It mentions what it is, and so the idea is here you have state funds for hospitals, and we're saying we don't want to support hospitals that have programs for sexually transitioning children, gender changing little boys and little girls and little boys. Those are hostile to Texas values. This is abuse of children. We don't want this going on in our hospitals, and at least no hospital is receiving Texas state funds. Ernest Bell says no, we are going to support sex change for children. So he supported it. I mean, that once again, I didn't write this story. This isn't me slandering this is not me slandering or libeling Ernest Bales. This is his action. This is his voting record. So some of these things, what happened is a few weeks ago, and it's checking the news, there's a story which we're going to look at right now, about Ernest Bales killing border security. Ernest Bales, they're trying to pass border security legislation. Of course, Dave Phelan closed it down. But let's look at this. State Rep Ernest Bales sabotages border security efforts by voting to protect liberal open borders lawmakers' spots on the Border Security Advisory. Ernest Bales works with Democrats to keep the border wide open so he can continue to grow Colony Ridge terrain as Houston. State Rep Open Border Bales kills border security. If you read this article yourself, Ernest Bales votes, and over 50 House Republicans voted to protect Democrat influence in the border security efforts. If people don't support border security, why put them on a Border Security Council? This is a very serious issue, and this shows that he's very unserious about it. Like I said, Bales needs illegal aliens and migrants coming to our community so he can get his cut from all the schools that they have to build. That all these foreign nationals come over here illegally, and we have to, they do the crime, we foot the bill. We have to support this. He doesn't have to contribute anything. He just lives off these people are coming to live off the largesse of us, the American taxpayer. And we can't afford it anymore. But Ernest Bales wants to squeeze as much money as he can from us into his own pockets. So what's going on is the Texas state legislature is trying to, or people in the Texas state legislature trying to confront the issue of the border. So they have this committee where let's tackle this issue. What can we do? We need to amend the Constitution so states can be more active in border protection, because right now it's supposedly through a bad court ruling. It's all this is just the domain of the federal government. But Texas needs to be able to, if the federal government's not secure the border, Texas needs to declare an invasion, and we need to take the initiative and secure our own border for the safety of our citizens. People are dying. Kids are being murdered in Terrenos, Houston, Colony Ridge, and dying from overdoses in Cleveland ISD. This is a lot of serious issues going on there. They don't care. The administration, it doesn't seem to me the administration cares, and Ernest Bales doesn't care. I don't see him doing anything to tackle this issue. So what's going on like I said, in the State House, let's have a committee to address the border issue. Bales comes in and says we need Democrats, open border Democrats who want this humanitarian crisis to go on unabated. We need as many of Democrats and left-wing open border amnesty supporting Democrats. That means that committee is not going to be able to do anything, right? It sabotages it. It obstructs their, okay, we're going to take some action to secure the border. And then Bales brings in all these open border people to dilute it so they can't take meaningful action to address the border issue. So by supporting left-wing, open border, amnesty-supporting Democrats in these committees, Bales is effectively killing these committees. And once again, this is from, the story is Bales and over 50 other Texas Republican voted to protect Democrats' influence on the border security efforts. If these people don't support border security, why put them on the Border Security Council? Obviously because people like Bales don't want border security either. They're trying to kill any potential legislative action by putting open border Democrats on these committees, so to dilute any and undermine any impact they might have. So why does anybody support? I mean, everything in here, this is not libel, this is not slander. This is Bales' position, this is his voting record. These are the campaign events he goes to, the policies he supports. This isn't libel or slander. This is his what he's done, and he's in office. And the people don't know about it. And especially the transgender thing. I mean, nobody twisted his arm to make him do that. He's supporting these policies of sexualizing children and supporting sex change for children. I mean, that's what he did. I mean, I didn't write this news story. I just quoted it, and I point you to it so you can see yourself. And everybody investigates Colony Ridge. It doesn't take too long for Ernest Bales' name to come up. I mean, I was there when he affirmed on more than one occasion his support for trainers Houston and Colony Ridge. And I was at a meeting the other day, and the Cleveland ISD is enthusiastically supporting and embracing the agenda and the actions of Trey Harris and Colony Ridge Train in Houston. So we need change. We need change. This is the truth, and we need to be set free. This is the truth. You should know the truth. The truth should set you free. Set yourself free. Break the chains of bondage to Ernest Bales, and set him free and set the state of Texas free. Because we're in very difficult times. We need to have serious people to tackle these issues, because we're in a nation in decline, we're in a state in decline, and we need serious people who are going to tackle these issues and not sell the state of Texas out and everything it represents for a quick buck. So please, whatever you do, don't vote for Bales. I'm not making any of this stuff up. This is what he's about. Now you know we need change. So please get active, get involved, and vote. And let's make sure that Ernest Bales is not reelected. Let's end this man's political career. And he needs to have the honor and integrity, which he doesn't have any of those things, but he should, if he's going to be legislating as a Democrat, he needs to run on the Democrat ticket. And we need to stop his efforts to flip Texas blue and send him packing.